Hey everybody, welcome back. Windy as hell today outside, so we're going to stay off the lake. I got a little welding project here. I wouldn't say a little one, it's going to take a while. I'm building a groomer to pull behind the snowmobile. I'll put a picture in the after my little spiel here, give you an idea kind of what I'm going for. It was just another one I seen online. I got some materials here when I was down in Winnipeg last week. The only problem I had to get it all cut the length, so I couldn't put the canopy on my truck. I couldn't put full lengths in, and another company I went to wouldn't cut it. So I got them cut in 4-foot lengths here, so I'll have to weld them together to make my lengths for my skids, my runners, and then my center support bar. It's all pretty heavy duty stuff. This is all 3/16 by 2 inch angle iron. This is a 1/4 inch thick square tubing, 1.5 inches. And I got some 3/8 plate, just some flat bar. That's going to be connected to my hitch. I'll have to drill a hole in that so it can swivel on the front. And then I got some scrap pieces here we got from the dump. This one here is actually a different thickness than these guys, but I don't think it's going to matter. These are going to be my cross sections, my cutting blades going down the center. So these are also 2 inch. Just different thicknesses is all. And I got a sheet of 1/8 steel. It's 5 feet. I'm going to do a 5-foot wide groomer, 5x4. Well, the first thing I want to do is get this thing up on the table here and try to get that lip up on the front. So at the back it's going to be like the packer, the smoothing part. So it'll hold the snow and push the snow down. So yeah, I'm going to scribe the bottom here. And I'll throw it up on the bench there with the grinder and I'll give it a cut. And then I'll bend it down and I'll just weld the back of it, I guess, to support it. And then I'll probably have to fish plate the back of it once I get it all bent. Well, let's see if I can get this sheet up on the table here. Oh, pretty heavy. Oh, I got a crane overhead here too, but I have to weld an eye to it. But this will work. Well, they don't slide back, cut my toes off. Perfect. This is the side I want to bend over here. When the boys at the steel or supermarket, or whatever they call it in Winnipeg, when they cut this thing, they didn't have it in there square. So I'm a 1/4 inch out over this 4-foot span. So I'll have the wide end up in the front where everything's going to line up. So that's 16 inches. Sounds about right. Actually, I should check which side they broke first. Yeah, better go with the straight side. Looks about right. Match this end up. Oh yeah, you can tell. Show you this. Have a look down the line there. You can see how straight their cut is. I'm right on the line right here. And as you follow it, you see the gap. Opens up. About 1/4 inch down there. So we'll just manipulate that a little bit. Good enough. Okay, so I'm just going to scribe my line here across the sheet. Not going to cut all the way through, but I'm going to try to get pretty close where I can put a straight edge on here, clamp it down, and try to bend this down. Then I can just weld whatever I have to weld. But try to follow this line now. gonna burn another pair of gloves here if I don't smarten up. Okay. This thing here. I'm thinking about a 60-degree angle. Alrighty. There. Oh, let's see if we can bend this bad boy. It's working. Oof. That is working. Ah. Not quite enough yet. Ah. There. That's good. Let's go with that. And you see, that's the front lip there, so that'll help push the snow down under the skid. I'll just buzz this in here, give her some strength. Now I'm just going to give this a quick prep before I weld it. Make sure it's clean. Good. Those wire wheels are deadly. Make sure you got a face shield or safety glasses or some thick pants on. Perfect example I can show you right now. It actually just happened. I don't know if you can see that. Get those things come flying off and they stick into your legs. I've had them stuck to my face and everything in the past. Safety first. Really low on gas here. Good thing I got another bottle here. Alrighty. Welder's all set up. Materials prepped. Let's lay some bead. That wasn't too bad at all. Filled in pretty nice. There. I think I'll cut the corners off the top there too eventually, but oh. Next step is going to be getting those 4-footers and welding them together. So these are the 3/16 thick by 2-inch angle iron. I'll have to clean them up and then we'll weld them together so I can get 8 feet. Plus I'll have a 5-foot hitch. So it's going to be a pretty heavy drag at the end of the day. So hopefully it'll last. Now we'll clean up these edges and stuff where I'm going to weld them together. there's enough of a bevel on there. Get some good penetration there and she'll last. Look at that. Preach about safety. Look at this. Already got a burn. That work, that'd be an Intellect's paperwork. Okay, so what I'm going to do here now to keep these straight when I weld them, in the center I'm going to put something flammable, of course. You know how we do it. Make sure I got some gap in there. There, that looks better. So now I'm just gonna buzz that up on the inside, and then I'll do the same on the outside. And then when I put my cutting edges across these guys, I'm gonna try to get one that overlaps this, so it'd be like almost kind of what fish plated, I guess you can say. And hopefully that'll help with the rigidity. All right, I got one side done. So I did the inside and outside. So let's go to the next one. Here's a shot of the first weld I laid down. And then you can see on the back side there, I got some pretty good penetration there. It's coming through, so we'll do the same thing on the back side there. And then we'll buffer up. All right, I got my runners all welded up and cleaned up. This is my packing pan here in the back. That's what it's going to look like. I think I went a little bit too long on the back, but oh well, I'll have some extra hangout in the back, I guess. No big deal. Or I can zip cut it off after. Either or. I'm going to weld this pan now to my sides, and then yeah, we'll start building from there. Floor is too uneven down there to do it on the floor, so I'm just trying to got it hanging off the table and stuff over here. I'm just going to try tack welding it on here before I lay a heavy bead on here. I'm going to need some help get this thing off the table here now. Got my pan welded onto it now. I'm going to use my overhead here. Try to give me a hand, just because it's too awkward. So I can take some of the weight off one side, and that's better. There. Ice fishing shack. Oh, that's hard on the ears. Good enough. At least it's on the floor now. Okay, now the next step for this here, I gotta weld on some risers that come off of the front here, and they come up about 10 inches or so, and that's what my hitch is gonna hook onto, and that's where it'll pivot. So I need to cut 2 of them. So I got some this heavy angle. I already got it marked out for 10 inches. Now I just gotta cut it off here. So. It's not the straightest, but Nothing you can't fix with a grinder. Work off another 10 inches here. A little better. Before I weld these brackets on for my hitch, I have to drill a hole in each one for a bolt for my hinge to pivot on. I got 2 1/2-inch bolts here. Should be long enough, so I'm just going to drill a couple holes here. I'll step it up though. Start with a small and work my way up. There, now I can weld these on. I'll tack this on here and make sure everything's straight before we hardwire it up. Okay, so I got this one tacked on as well. I'm going to weld them up solid, and then we'll move on to I guess the support, the square tubing, and then we'll work on the cutting edges. But I'll weld these on here. All right, so I got those welded on pretty good. I want to put some supports from here down to here, just something to hold it back, so I'm not going to just keep pulling and ripping, especially if this thing hooks into something. Okay, so that's some 1.5-inch angle iron. I think I'm just going to put a piece from here, from there to about 1 foot, I guess. So it's going to be just under my bolt hinge here. Okay, so I'm just going to go with 1 foot. That's a handy frickin' tool, boy. It's kind of heavy though, but it does the job. And no grinding dust. I'll need to buff these up. Ooh, those are dirty. Okay, now I need to figure out my my angles. So I found my angles where I'm going to cut it. So I'm going to cut these off with a zip cut. You know anybody that ever cut themselves with one of these? I do. You get a whole new respect for grinders and the guards. There. Now I wonder if I did the same thing to this one, if it'd be the same on both sides. Is it worth the risk? Probably not. I'll measure that one up too and then cut it. Okay, I'm going to weld this up right here on now. Look at that. There, those will help prevent this from getting ripped down. I'll finish buzzing these on, and then on the back side as well. And then we'll work on the cross members in here, the cutting edges. All right there, boys and girls. I got my center piece, my square tubing. I got it all prepped anyway. I'm just going to cut it. I got the two pieces here and I made them together like I did with the other ones there. I'm going to weld them together. Cut a hole in the back plate here. And the square tubing is actually going to go through that, and I'll weld it on the back side. So we have good strength in there. And then I just measured it up to the front here. I'm only going 5.5 feet, so I'm not even going right to the front of my skids here. So I skipped ahead there. I got the my 1.5 inch square tubing, welded together, marked the center of the back of the press plate there. It's just laying on the concrete floor right now. It's not where it's going to be. And but yeah, it doesn't go quite up to the front here, but I'm going to put a ski up here, adjustable ski. That's going to adjust the height of the cut in the front, so I can lift it right up and just drag it on the pan, so I'm not cutting anything. And I cut my uprights, or my cutters, sorry. And I don't have enough of the heavy, the 3/16 stuff. I don't have enough of that stuff. I only had 2 pieces left over, so I'm going with this. Sorry, it's 1/4 inch and then 3/16. There's other stuff. This might even be thinner. Yeah, it's another different style. But I'm just trying to throw together scrap shit or whatever I can make work. So we start. I'll start welding these on here on my outside frames, and then we'll find out where our center is going to be there with that square tubing. Finish it off. Well, I'm an idiot. I messed up big time. I told you I already pre-cut those cutting edges for 30 inches. Well, what I did, I only took from the inside to the center is 30 inches. I'm not putting them straight across. They're going to be on an angle. So technically I need like 40 inches. So I screwed myself. Now my only other option is using 1.5 inches. I got lots of that scrap laying over there in the corner. But it's shit. I think we'll have to do it. Alright, well this is where I'm at. I ended up going with the 1.5 inch angle iron. And I just got them just tacked on there, just on the tips. So I can adjust them in and out to line up my bar here. Because like right now you can see I'm off here. My line is back there in the center. So that's close to center right there somewhere. So everything should be lining up pretty darn good. I'm just going to make my final measurement from outside to outside into my center. And then I'm going to tack weld these guys on. And then I'm just going to finish her off, buzz her all up. Okay, so I marked out on the back side here. I measured my measurement like I said. And I made a mark inside there with a marker, Sharpie. And I drilled holes from the outside. I kind of just guesstimated with a measurement on the outside where my crease was and worked my way up. But that's my square right there. So I took a piece of square tubing there and I just kind of marked out my hole right there. So that's where I got to cut. And that pipe, that square tubing there should slide right through here. And that should be center. So I'm going to use my plasma cutter and we'll cut that out. Whoa, pretty shaky. Swear I needed a drink. Okay, we'll see how that pipe fits through there now. If I have to tune her up. Okay, I'll take a little bit more off the bottom there. Little off the bottom. tiny bit more. Oh, I gotta dad. Need some air. There we go. Good enough. So I really need to come back that far. Clean that up a little bit. Now I can center here, and then I can weld these guys on now. Voila. Make sure I keep my 60 inches here. Oh, yeah, I gotta come in a bit. There. Perfect. I'll tie this side in. The back side here now. This one sitting here. Now I'm just going to go over everything that's welded all solid now. Cutters, they're all put into place here now. Everything's welded. I think I might winch this up with the crane here and then weld the bottom side too. So this is my ski that the front end's going to ride on. And I'm going to have a piece of square tubing. It's like a hitch, like a receiver hitch style. That's adjustable. Alright, well there's my adjustable ski tacked on, and I got the post welded on. So now this here piece here is going to be welded on to that 1.5 inch drawbar right there in the front, and that's what's going to pick up the front end. And I got to put a bend on the back of the ski as well. Not much there, but just a little lip for backing up if I have to. Alright, I think that's going to be the setup there. Just got to weld that on like that, my ski, and then I can pull that bolt out of there. I can raise it up all the way up so it'll just be riding on the pan. So if I'm pulling through deep snow, or if I want to groom from one end of the trail, I can just lift it up and then just carry on. Okay, I got the ski welded on there now. I'm going to lift the front end up here and see if I can't get underneath it and do some welds underneath. Oh. So the next step is the hitch. I have to drill a 1/2 inch hole through this plate, and then I got my bent pipes already, and I'll have to weld this onto here like so, and then this will bolt This end will bolt up to the drag, and that's where my hitch will pivot. I got one side of the hitch here all lined up and cleaned up. Got the hole drilled in it. So I just got to just weld it on there. All right. So this is where I think I'm going to leave off for the night. I got both sides are all welded up. And I got them bolted up, 1/2-inch bolts. And that's where I'm peaked at the end here. So I think I just got to cut these out here on an angle. And that way they'll fit together tight. And then I'll put my hitch assembly together in there. So yeah, I got to cut these off down here. And hopefully these will fit together tighter. Then I'll have lots of surface area there to weld my hitch assembly. Well, day 2. I'm just working on the hitch, the tongue. I got my little pipe here with a pipe inside of a pipe. Got it all cleaned up and stuff now. I got a bolt with some springs. Actually, a buddy in town had these here. I think he only charged me 20 bucks for the springs and the threaded rod. I just had this piece of flat bar, 1/4-inch thick, and I just scribed it on the insides with the grinder. There's a zip disc, but I did it 2 discs wide, and I put it in my vise with a hammer, and I'm just folding it over. So I got it to the point now where I'm just going to put it in my vise and just squeeze the rest. And then I got to drill my tongue hole, probably a 3/8 hole for my pin on the tongue, and I'm going to drill a looks like a 3/4-inch hole here, and I'm going to actually put this through, and then I'll plug weld it on the backside, and that should be my hitch. And I just got to weld it onto the drag. Well, I'm ready to assemble this hitch. There's my holes I drilled in there, and then it's actually like a 3/4-inch for this. Now I can tighten up this nut here to compress this some more if I want to. Now I gotta weld this on the hitch. Okay, I'm ready to weld the hitch on now. I did clean everything up real good here. Buffed everything up so it's nice and shiny. Get the scale off the pipes. A lot of this material I got came right from the dump. Alright, there the hitch is on. Good setup. I think I just need to put a cross member in here now from over here to over here. Stop the bar from pulling. Oh, I got my pipe made up here, cut the length. I think I'm going to put one more. I think I have a piece long enough. I might be able to do one more closer to the top there. Okay, I got one more cross member to put in here up in the front. I got it all cleaned and prepped, so we'll just tack her on and then we'll finish her off. There, I'll finish buzzing that up, and then that's gonna be pretty well it. Okay, 2 more things I need to do here. I'm just running out of scraps here now, but I wanted to put a couple supports in the back here. Stop this plate from getting folded over backwards. I don't know if it will or not. It's 1/8 thick, but so I got a couple of those to put there. And then I also want to cut these backs. I just used a 2-gallon ice cream bucket, and I just drew a marker there just so you don't cut your ski pants and stuff on it on both sides.